This is going to be the quickest podcast, the quickest little Grant Rant that you have ever heard. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Kettlebell Guys podcast. Welcome back to another edition of the Grant Rant, Kettlebell Guys podcast. You guys want to hear something hilarious? I'm on take 4 right now, take 4, take 5. And here's the ironic part. In this episode, I'm going to talk about efficiency. And I'm on I think take 5 of trying to make sure I get this right, which is hilarious to me, given the title of the topic we are talking about. So you know what? No matter how many times I mess up, I am not going to redo this podcast, not going to start over, which, there's a look behind the veil, look behind the curtain. Yes, sometimes we mess up on this stuff, on content creation, and then we have to restart and do it again because we are not perfect. But you know what? Probably the imperfection creates a little bit of connection with the audience. You put that on a t-shirt. Imperfection creates connection. So today, I'm going to talk about efficiency. And here's the context with which I'm going to rant about this. We put efficiency at the forefront of kettlebell transformation, meaning we try to keep things very simple. We try to keep things very easy. So there's less and less reasons why you can't do the work that we ask guys to do at Kettlebell Transformation. So think about it. Our guys don't have to go to the gym, so they don't have to commute to the gym. They don't have to walk around a gym and choose between 1,000 different pieces of equipment. They train with one piece of equipment, kettlebells and body weight, from home. In our first 16 weeks, our guys focus on 2 main exercises, and then they have maybe 3 to 4 accessory exercises that they do alongside those 2. The exercises are done 4 days a week, 30 to 45 minutes. So from a timing standpoint, it's just not a lot of time. And so if you were to look at kettlebell transformation as a whole, I would call it an incredibly efficient program. Incredibly efficient. Doesn't take a lot of time. It's very simple. It's very easy. There's not a lot of reasons why you should be able to come up with excuses as to why you can't do it. And it's one of the things that we lead with in our marketing. And we lead with when we talk about the programs, we lead with, listen, this is simple and this is efficient. Because everybody, myself, and I would bet yourself included, believes that they are incredibly busy. Everybody and their mother think that they are incredibly busy. They just don't have any time during the day. But here's the deal. This is why this is called a Grant Rant, because it's not going to talk about all the reasons why this program is efficient. I'm going to give you all the reasons why you probably don't need efficiency. Now, before you shut this podcast down and you turn me off, hear me out. You probably don't need efficiency. What you most likely need is you need to objectively look at the 24 hours a day that you have, and you need to choose to deprioritize certain things, and you need to choose to prioritize other things. That is the entire central message of this podcast. You don't need efficiency. You don't need more time. You definitely don't need more motivation. What you need is you need to sit down and you need to objectively tell yourself or ask yourself what is important to you and what are all the things that you're doing in your life that aren't taking you closer towards the thing that is important to you. So you might think you need efficiency, but the thought process of efficiency means that I need to find something that is so efficient, that is so easy, that is so less time conducive, that does not take a lot of effort or energy or time, so that I can fit it in to my already packed life. That's the idea of efficiency. It's I need to find something so simple and easy that I can take it and fit it into my 7 days a week, into what I'm already doing and I'm already prioritizing in my life right now. But the problem with that is that I bet 10%, 20%, 30%, who knows, maybe more of how you spend your time currently right now isn't taking you closer to your goal. It isn't taking you down the road of weight loss, getting stronger, taking control of your health, feeling better, sleeping better, showing up for your family better, being the example you want to be for your health. How much, if you were to objectively look at the last 7 days, how much of how you spend your time is aligned with the outcome of wanting to lose weight, get strong, transform your health, change your body composition, feel healthy, feel confident of the man staring back in the mirror? It's kind of if you're able to look at that and say to yourself, 20, 30, 40, 50% of what I do is aligned with it, when you probably don't need this podcast because you're probably not looking for a solution. But my point of all of this, and this might be a very, very fast, very, very quick podcast, is that sometimes instead of efficiency, instead of looking for the easy way, because efficiency is trying to make you believe your perception that it's going to be easy. That's it's going to be so simple, it's not going to take a lot of time. Well, that's just not the freaking truth. That's not the truth. Anyone who sells you that is selling you fucking snake oil. Like, it does take time. It takes fucking effort. It takes you setting aside, like our guys train 4 days a week, 45 minutes. That's still 3 hours a week, 3 to 4 hours a week that they focus on working out, on doing their workouts, on pushing their body, on challenging themselves, on like, it's like objectively guys come to us, they aren't spending those 4 hours before they come to us. And so while the program is efficient, while it's simple, while it doesn't take a lot of time, what probably needs to happen is you just need to rethink what you're currently focused on. Because think about this, if you were to take away all those things, like how much time do you spend watching TV? How much time do you spend doom scrolling? How much time do you spend on your phone? How much time do you spend going out to eat every week? Like how many hours is that every single week? Because if you took 50% of that time back, 75% of that time back, well, then you probably wouldn't need that efficient of a solution. Now that opens the door to being like, yeah, but I don't want to spend my time working out. I don't want to spend my time doing these things. Well, then listen, that's the bigger issue, right? Because here's the deal. If you were to get all that time back, say you're like, okay, I don't watch TV. I watch 10% the amount of TV I used to, or doom scroll 10% of the amount of time I used to. And you get all that time back and you think to yourself, yeah, but I don't really want to spend my time working out. Well, it doesn't matter how efficient or how simple or how easy of a solution you find, you're never going to stick with it long term. It's not going to produce the results. It's not going to stick long term because you don't actually want to be that guy. You don't actually want to be the guy who can look at his calendar 7 days a week in those 24 hours every single day and see how much of his time, the majority of his time, is aligned with the actions that produce a healthy, fit, strong, confident individual. So the biggest thing that you're going to have to ask yourself is you're going to have to ask yourself, am I willing to deprioritize certain things and reprioritize other things? And am I willing to go through the uncomfortable change, the uncomfortable transition where I pretty much do this stuff? I'm doing the stuff that I'm trying to reprioritize. I'm doing it even though I don't really want to do it. Like I don't have a natural proclivity to wanting to show up and exercise, work out, eat healthy, go for walks, focus on my sleep. I don't naturally want to do that, but I show up and I do it anyways. You're going to have to go through that period of time, that 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, however long it takes, where you're choosing to do that, even though it's against your nature that you've built over the last 30, 40 years, so that you give yourself the opportunity to get to a point where you actually enjoy doing that stuff. And then you actually enjoy deprioritizing the shit that doesn't serve you. And you enjoy prioritizing the stuff that does serve you. You actually enjoy doing the workout. You enjoy and look forward to the healthy meals. You reprioritize things on that front, because that can happen where you almost like have to kind of force yourself to put yourself in a position where you execute, whether that's on your own, you have accountability to doing it, these things that you don't naturally do over a long enough period of time, to where it eventually just becomes, oh shit, like you make this shift to where you're like, okay, this is now, I don't want to go back to the stuff that I had prioritized previously. And once you make that shift, obviously we talk about this all the time, you make that shift, then you're set for life. Core principle of this, which could be wrapped up in 30 seconds, is that if you do want to lose weight, if you do want to get stronger, if you do objectively take your shirt off, look in the mirror, and you want to change something about what you see, your first thought shouldn't be, God, I got to find the most efficient program. Finding an efficient program is great, but your first thought needs to be, what am I doing right now that does not serve or that does not take me closer to the outcome that I want? What am I doing that I can stop doing? What am I not doing that I can start doing? And then you don't need the most efficient program, because you're already wasting certain amounts of time that you feel like you objectively can get back. And that's not the most comfortable. That's not the most comfortable viewpoint. It's not the most comfortable lens to look through, because, none of us like to look at ourselves and be like, fuck, we're not doing things the right way, or like, fuck, I'm wasting time, or fuck, I feel like, like I really want this, but like, God, I'm just like my actions aren't aligned with the goal. We don't like that, because we don't like not feeling like we're doing something well. It doesn't feel good. But I don't know. Facing the truth is probably the first step. Facing the truth of what you need to do in order to see the results you want is probably the first step towards you being like, you face the truth, you accept the truth, you change the reality, change the facts, and then you got a new truth. You have a new, set of facts that you're working from. And typically that is what culminates and starts to compound in the direction that you want it to. So with that being said, Grant Rant, just over 10 minutes. I wanted to keep this less than 10 minutes. Here's the deal. My wish for all of you guys is that you can hear the core of this message and that you can take something from it. Take something from it so that it makes your life better, or that you make different decisions and take different actions that then make your life better. That's my hope. So with that being said, hope you guys have a fantastic day. See you guys in the next podcast, next Grant Rant. I'll see you next time. Bye.